Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhechandaranda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananda Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपीनाथ श्याम को राधा कुंकी गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवदीप धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, यमुना माई की, श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Stai Bhutla Srimate Veer Krishna Goswami Niti Namne Namo Hamsani Kashaya Prabhupada Priyayate Shruti Tashri Nishtavim Tasya Bhakyam Vadane. Okay, good morning, Hare Krishna to everyone. Thank you for playing the musical instruments. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, which is titled Activities of Kapil, and we are reading from text 6. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Yannamadheya Shravananu Kirtanad Yannamadheya Shravananu Kirtanad Yat Prabhanad Yat Smaranad Api Kvachit Svadopi Satya Savanaya Kalpate Kuta Punaste Bhagavanu Darshanat Yannamadheya Shravananu Kirtanat Yat Prabhanad Yat Smaranad Api Kvachit Svadopi Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate Kuta Punaste Bhagavanu Darshanat Yannamadheya Shravananu Kirtanat Yat Prabhanad Yat Smaranad Api Kvachit Svadopi Satya Savanaya Kalpate Kuta Punaste Bhagavanu Darshanat यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्राभनाद्या स्मरणादपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि साध्या सवनाय कल्पते कृता पुनस्ते भगवानुदर्शनात् यन्नामधेया श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्रवणाद्य स्मरणादपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि साध्या सवनाय कल्पते कृता पुनस्ते भगवानुदर्शनात् यन्नामधेया श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्राभनाद्या स्मरणादपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि साध्या सवनाय कल्पते कृता पुनस्ते भगवानुदर्शनात् यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्राभनाद्यात् स्मरणादपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि साध्य सवनाय कल्पते कृता पुनस्ते भगवानुदर्शनात्. Okay. Yat, of whom the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Namadheya, the name, Shravana, hearing, Anukirtanat, by chanting, Yat, to whom, Pravanat, by offering obeisances, Yat, whom, Smaranat, by remembering, Api, even, Kvachit, at any time, Swadha, Adogida, I think it was Swaadha, Adogida, Api, even, Sadhya, immediately, Savanaya, for performing Vedic sacrifices, Kalpate, becomes eligible, Kuta, what to speak of, Puna, again, Te, you, Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nu, then, Darshanat, by seeing face to face. Okay, so we've got the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation reads, to say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the spiritual personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. Okay, so we can repeat, to say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. Okay, so this translation is the very it's the what do you call the essence, the main point of the Hare Krishna movement. Actually, it is what we do day in, day out, 24 hours. So this is a perfect translation or a perfect reference for anybody who wants to tell anybody about Hare Krishna is all about, what we are all about. It is this particular shlok. It is Canto 3, chapter 33.6, text 6. It's got everything in there. You hear, you chant, the pastimes, chanting, singing, anybody is eligible and qualified, and that's what we do. So this is a very, very good translation today. So the purport is a long one, so if you could bear with me, I'll try to read as fast as possible. So the purport: herein the spiritual potency of chanting, hearing, remembering the holy name of the Supreme Lord is greatly stressed. So this is what I just said. Everything is there encompassed in this particular shlok. Rupa Goswami has discussed the sequence of sinful activities of the conditioned soul, and he has established in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that those who engage in devotional service become freed from reaction of all sinful activities. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says that he takes charge of one who surrenders unto him, and he makes him immune to all reactions of the sinful activities. If by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes so swiftly cleared of all his sinful activities, then what is to be said of those persons who see him face to face? So this particular shlok is telling us, we chant, right? But what about those people who see Krishna face to face? So it's actually comparing the two, and really if you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is directly associating with Krishna anyway. It is just like seeing Krishna face to face. Just like you, I can see you, you can see me. Chanting Hare Krishna is the same thing. It is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And I will say, I think I will, Srila Prabhupada, there was a class, there was a question and answer in Srila Prabhupada's conversation when he was taking a walk in the morning. And somebody said to him, Prabhupada, what about those who are singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Or what about chanting? Why, what's the difference? And Prabhupada said to this person in the walk, I can actually tell you on my phone, I've got it here, the reference. Anyway, we'll come back to it later. He said, chanting and singing is the same thing. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra, same thing. Whether you sing it in a kirtan or you say it, same potency, same power, because it's chanting, both of them. So that is chanting. And then the question was, it is still the holy names of the Lord. And says, what if somebody says Jagannath? Hey Jagannath, hey Jagannath. And Prabhupada said, still the same thing. It's still the holy names of the Lord. Whether you say Hey Jagannath or you say Hey Krishna, same thing. Chanting, singing the holy names, same thing. Glorifying Krishna's names in the form of Jagannath or Gauranitai or Gauranga, same thing. Imagine, and so powerful. And the same thing as seeing Krishna face to face. How powerful it is. Another consideration is that persons who are purified by the process of chanting and hearing become immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. So let's look at this sentence for a little while. Another consideration here is that persons who are purified by the process of chanting and hearing become immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. That means a person who has been chanting can perform Vedic sacrifices. They become eligible, they become so purified. The reason is, if you happen to see Krishna face to face, if he is standing in front of you, imagine Gopinath is standing in person in front of you, what will happen to you? You will become extremely purified, 100%. Just by the presence of Krishna, you will become purified. Your entire sins are removed. You are clean from inside out, past and present and future, all clean, all purified. So that is what it's saying is the effect of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Mahamantra, purifies a person so much so that they can perform Vedic sacrifices. Just by the presence of Krishna, the Mahamantra, the potency, the power of the Mahamantra, the presence is there of Krishna, just in the Mahamantra, purifies the person, performs a Vedic. And there was a question that, this is a good one. The question was, if a person is chanting Hare Krishna, it is enough to deliver them, doesn't need initiation either. They don't require initiation. And the question was asked to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, yes, they don't need initiation if they are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So then why do we get initiated in the first place? The reason is that this place is Kali Yuga, and there is a material contamination everywhere. And in order to get out of the material contamination, we need reinforcement. Even though we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are purified, but just to maintain it, keep it intact, we need the initiation for deity worship. In other words, chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and deity worship, they go together. So whoever is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra must have an altar at home if they are not serving at the temple. So they can have photos, they can have deities, they can have, well, I have Radhasham Sundar deities, they can have Gauranitai deities, Jagannath deities, or picture of the the Panchatattva. They can worship Tulsi Maharani, but some sort of deity worship is there. And that needs the guidance of a spiritual master, initiation, and then you can go through. And the other point was, the initiation is necessary for a fast track. So speedy. In other words, the chanting of the Hare Krishna will be slower progress. In other words, slower progress. But as soon as you have the spiritual master's backup and initiation, fast. This life, you can make it. If you died tomorrow, you could still make it. I'm not sure where I'm going to go tomorrow if I died, but definitely I have the blessings of my spiritual master. And we try to put on anybody we're chanting to a spiritual master. And if I have said that a preacher is preaching as not successful, has failed in some way, then the best thing they can do for that person is put them onto a higher power, which is a spiritual master. In other words, if I was not, I'm taking myself as an example, if I was not successful in delivering a person myself, of course I don't have that strength, I'm not as initiating spiritual master, but what I can do for that person is to get them to meet a spiritual master, or take shelter of a spiritual master, and then they can be released from these material bonds. They can be liberated. They can get Krishna. So the spiritual master initiation is important, despite chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it is said that you don't need to be initiated. The progress will be slow, but you need to, if you want to have a fast track progress, spiritual advancement, you need deity worship, you need spiritual master. That was the reason. Okay, generally only a person who is born of a Brahmins who have been reformed by the 10 kinds of purificatory processes and who is learned in the Vedic literature is allowed to perform the Vedic sacrifices. But here the word sadhya immediately is used. Sridhar Swami also remarks that one can immediately become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. A person born in a family of the low caste, which is accustomed to eating dogs, is so positioned due to his past sinful activities, but by chanting or hearing once in pureness or in an offenseless manner, he is immediately relieved of the sinful reaction. I mean, this particular purport tells you the whole meaning of chanting, why we chant. And anybody who stops chanting, you can understand what's going to happen if anybody stops the chanting. Whether we are chanting the 16 rounds, I mean that. If we stop chanting our rounds, what happens? So I was doing the research, and Srila Prabhupada, I'm quoting him, Srila Prabhupada said, anyone who stops chanting is a victim of Maya, becomes a victim of Maya, gets into Maya. So if I stop my rounds, if I stop chanting, I will become a victim of Maya. That's one side. The other side, if I stop somebody else from chanting, they will become a victim of Maya, and I will also become a victim of Maya. So we must never stop anybody from chanting also. If we stop somebody from chanting, we will become a victim of Maya, and they will also become a victim of Maya. This is a direct quote from Srila Prabhupada. I'm not making this up. So we must never, ever, ever stop anybody from chanting. We must never stop chanting ourselves. Otherwise, we become a victim of Maya. Okay, continuing from there. Not only is he relieved from the sinful reaction, but he immediately achieves the result of all purificatory processes. Taking birth in the family of a Brahmin is certainly due to pious activities in one's past life, but still a child born in a family of Brahmin depends for his further reformation upon initiation into acceptance of a sacred thread and many other reformatory processes. But a person who chants the holy name of the Lord, even if born in a family of Chandalas, dog eaters, does not need this reformation. That is why we get people to chant, because not everybody can go through the process of a Brahmin thread for all kinds of rituals and traditions. We come from different backgrounds. We come from the streets. We come from family meat eaters. We come from troubled families, violence. We come from war country, a country full of war. I've just been working, and my associate who was training me for my job comes from Hong Kong. And they said they're not religious. And I said, do you know God? And she said, no, in my culture there's no God. We don't pray. We don't have a church. We don't have a temple. And I was like, what do you do when you get sad? What do you do when you get married? What do you do when somebody dies? How do you perform your rituals? Who do you go to for help? They said, oh, we just cry, then we talk to our family members, and then we are okay. And so I said, how do you cremate somebody? They said, oh, we just put them in the cremation, we burn the body, and then we go home. There's no mantras, there's no prayers. It's a godless, very godless. And I could understand then why it's so important to have people like this say the Hare Krishna mantra even once. Because they don't have a ritual, they don't have a church, they don't have a God, they don't have mantras, they don't have a procedure, religious, they don't have any religion. So for them, that's why we get them to chant even the Hare Krishna mantra once. That will purify them, that will give them some benefit, because they are from a godless background. And they eat meat, and they eat dogs and snakes and everything they eat. Such a low stage in Kali Yuga. And we associate, I worked with such a person. So I'm like, by the end of the day, I'm like, Krishna, I need some healing powers. I need something because I've been associating in an environment which is not really like a devotional environment. It's very cruel to put a devotee in that state. But anyway, we have to pay our bills, and we have to get work somehow. So simply by chanting Hare Krishna, he immediately becomes purified and becomes as good as the most learned Brahman. That is our business. This is what Hare Krishna is about. We don't need big temples. We don't need big centers. We need to get people to chant. If you want to know, of course, we do need deity worship. But if you really come down to the essence, we need to have people chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because the background they come from a war country, from a godless society, from this lady who comes from Hong Kong I was just talking about. We need to have them chant. And we can't get them to chant like Hare Krishna, like that. Sometimes we have to use a song, we have to use a kirtan, because people are attracted to music, then they chant like that. So that's the whole point of chanting. Sridhar Swami especially remarks in this connection, Anena Puyatvam Lakshyate. Some caste Brahmins remark that by chanting Hare Krishna, purification begins. Of course, that depends on the individual process of chanting. But this remark of Sridhar Swami is completely applicable if one chants the holy name of the Lord without offense. Without offense. We did that 10 offenses early in the morning. We have to guard ourselves from committing those offenses. So offenseless chanting, what does that do? That immediately gives you mukti or liberation, immediate. So chanting without offenses, there's two, I learned in my research today. 2 ways. One, chant without offenses, that gives you liberation. Second, you chant purely, there's a difference. Without offense, you chant purely. If you chant purely, with pure heart, you get love for Krishna. Two ways, two manners. So the idea, the conclusion, the lesson is that we progress beyond offenseless chanting, go over that and try to chant purely and achieve love of Krishna. Then how to chant purely? The answer we have in the last class. How to chant purely. Pure chanting is chanting with the intention of pleasing Krishna. Nothing else. Don't please your temple president, don't please your father, don't please your child. No. Please Krishna. You only chant to please Krishna. So that's why when we do the kirtan that we are organizing, I always say we are chanting to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As soon as we put that as our foundation, chanting becomes pure. Because everyone there is focused on pleasing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's pure chanting. And that pure chanting also has chanting without offenses. Immediately you are chanting without offenses, but you are also chanting purely for the main purpose of pleasing Krishna. And that is pure chanting which gives you love for Krishna. People will cry tears as soon as somebody chants purely from the heart. So that's what it was all about. As Sridhar Swami says, Pujyatvam, he immediately becomes respectable as most learned Brahmana and can be allowed to perform Vedic sacrifices. If simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord one becomes sanctified instantly, then what can be said of those persons who see the Lord, Supreme Lord, face to face and who understands the descent of the Lord as Devahuti understands Kapil Dev? Usually, initiation depends on the bona fide spiritual master who directs the disciple. If he sees that a disciple has become competent and purified by the process of chanting, he offers the sacred thread to the disciple so that he will be recognized as 100% equal with a Brahman. This is also confirmed in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sri Sanatan Goswami. As a base metal like bell metal can be changed into gold by a chemical process, any person can similarly be changed into Brahman by Diksha Vidhana initiation process. The initiation process is just like polishing you into gold. So you were dirty before, the spiritual master gives you initiation, means polish you and you shine like gold. So you need the initiation. You become like a star, bright star. So that's what it's saying. It is sometimes remarked that by chanting process, one begins to purify himself and can take birth in his next life in a Brahman family and then be reformed. But at this present moment, even those who are born in the best Brahman families are not reformed. We know this. In India, we come across many Indians who say we are born in a Brahman family. We are Brahmins. We will not associate with you. We will not marry your daughter. We will not marry your son because we are a Brahmin. There's a lot, but they're not really Brahmins because they're not practicing. So Gurudev says, Brahman, you earn it. You don't get born in Brahman. You earn it. You have to, with your sadhana, bhakti, worship, you earn being a Brahman. A Brahman is made, not born. So, nor is there certainty that are actually born of Brahman fathers. Formerly, the Garbhadana reformatory system was prevalent, but at present moment, there is no such Garbhadana or seed-giving ceremony. Under these circumstances, no one knows if a man is factually born of a Brahman father. Whether one is acquired, the qualification of a Brahman depends on the judgment of a bona fide spiritual master. He bestows upon the disciple the position of a Brahman by his own judgment. When one is accepted as a Brahman in the sacred thread ceremony under the Pancharatrika system, then he is Dvija, twice born. It's simply saying that you take Brahman Diksha from a spiritual bona fide, spiritual master, bona fide, from the disciplic succession. Then you are qualified for a Brahmin. So not necessarily those who are born in a Brahmin family. Why? Because we are all contaminated along the way. Many of these so-called Brahmin families were they were products of very materialistic kind of processes. Like, for example, the Hare Krishna rituals are that when we procreate or we want to have a child, we chant 64 rounds. We pray to Krishna. Then a child is begotten with the, potency and the purification process. But those who are actually born without those things, and they're saying we're in a Brahmin family, you don't know under what mode of nature they were conceived without the chanting. So not necessarily a Brahmin. So it's very, very, the whole point is that the Mahamantra needs to be there. The chanting needs to be there. Needs to be there. That is confirmed by Sanatan Goswami. Dvija from Jayate, by the process of initiation of the spiritual master, by the spiritual master, a person is accepted as a Brahman in his purified state of chanting the holy name of the Lord. He then makes further progress to become a qualified Vaishnava, which means that the Brahminical qualification is already acquired. What does it mean to be a Vaishnava? Vaishnava? Yes, person who is worshipping the Supreme, right? Serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is practicing Bhakti Yoga. But a Vaishnava is one who serves other Vaishnavas. That's a true Vaishnava. A Vaishnava serves other Vaishnavas, serves other living entities, serves Krishna, practices Bhakti, chants Hare Krishna. And as a purified state in a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi, our philosophy, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada says a true Vaishnava and a true Vaishnavi is one who serves others in a humble state. serve. Does that mean it can mean anything. It can mean sweeping the floor for somebody. It can mean imparting the knowledge to somebody. It can mean giving them a mat. It can be deity worship. It can be serving Srila Prabhupada. It can be giving somebody medicine if they're sick. Giving somebody a small Panadol. It can mean giving somebody Mahaprasadam if they're hungry. It can mean many things. Many things in terms of service. The highest service, in my opinion, the highest service is one that serves Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Who serves in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. That's the highest service, in my opinion, is one, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission has got many Vaishnavas. We automatically serve Vaishnavas in his movement. We automatically spread Srila Prabhupada's movement. That's the highest service, in my opinion. But we have 9 processes of bhakti. So 9 processes of devotional service: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving at the feet of Srila, of Sri Radha Krishna. Humility. You give everything. You understand that the many offering prayers. The 9 processes. You practice any of them, you can deliver yourself. But the best of services is to be part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Best. And which we all are, by the way. If you think you are not doing the best service, you are. Because you join ISKCON, you are chanting Hare Krishna, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. So you are doing the best service you could. I will stop there. Does anybody have any comments? There's only 2 people here. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Okay, so I didn't get the last part. The offenseless chanting? Yes. Oh, so the question is, did Prabhupada say is a difference between pure chanting and offenseless chanting, or is that my conclusion? It's Prabhupada. This morning I was reading, so let me try to find that particular chanting means. You just wanted to know. Oh, yes, definitely Prabhupada. It's a pure chanting, but it is there. You can even look it up in the net. You will find pure chanting is one that aims to please Krishna, and that will give you love of Krishna. That will give you love of Krishna. Offenseless chanting will also deliver you. It will give you mukti. It will give you liberation. But pure chanting is one which will incorporate love of Krishna in your heart, and that is a form of chanting that is acquired by really highly acquired, qualified Vaishnavas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Srila Prabhupada, or that they are on that platform. It's pure chanting. They're pure devotees, Mahajans. The gopis, if you really want to know, and then ultimately Radharani, Srimati Radharani. So that's the pure chanting. We need to get there, and the way to do it is just simply to praise Krishna. And that's a hard one, because we chant because we are, because somebody told us to chant. We chant because we haven't completed our rounds. We are trying to finish our 16. We chant because we are in pain. We chant because we want something. We want to be successful in something. But it is never really simply, solely to praise Krishna. Very difficult. Very few of us come and chant and say, "Oh Krishna, I want to please you, so I'm chanting." Very few. And to do that every day, every single day, it's very difficult for an ordinary person to acquire, but it is possible though. You have to be on that platform, which I personally think I'm trying. Let's say that I'm trying. I don't know if I'm successful, but I'm trying. And I'm trying to get others to chant to praise Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm trying. And the reason for that, behind it, if you want to know why I do it, is I want to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a small way. Small way, so very small. That's my motivation. Because I think that's the highest service. But that's my personal opinion, not Srila Prabhupada, didn't get it from anyone. It's I feel if we are serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his mission, that's the best service. So I'm trying to get others to chant. That's my. I'm not interested in glory or fame or building big temples, nothing like that. Nor am I interested in money and fundraising. I simply want people to chant. That is my. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Sure.
Just on the lines of what Yuvraj Prabhu was asking, if he actually refers to the last shloka of the previous chapter, the translation goes like this: anyone who once meditates upon me with faith and affection, who hears and chants about me, surely goes back to home, back to Godhead. And now today's translation says that to say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face, even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. Just Dev clearly says that even, she actually says, even if he utters once, she actually stresses it. I was just wondering, if I may humbly ask, is bhakti so cheap? Is going back to Godhead, is it so cheap? Is it so easy? I'm not doubting the scriptures, but I'm actually trying to understand the way which Devahuti actually presented, because they put so many rules and regulations, chanting 16 times, following 4 regulative principles. Doing this after lifetime, it's so hard.
It is.
Why is it Devahuti actually putting it so easy?
Okay.
Only understand.
Okay. So there are several factors. So Prabhu is saying, is bhakti so cheap that even just by uttering the Lord's name once we achieve liberation? And on the other hand, we've been given the 4 regulative principles and chanting 16 rounds. So what is this? It's contradictory in one way, you are saying. And why even somebody utters the name once can perform Vedic sacrifices? Is bhakti so cheap? Well, let me put it in another way. It's not bhakti that is cheap. It is we who are cheap. Bhakti is not cheap. We are cheap in the sense we are born in Kalyug, in a material sense, and we are associating with polluted people. So we are in a very degraded state. We are. And when this Srimad Bhagavatam was written, Vyasadeva, they all had compassion because they could have the foresight. They could see in the future what was going to become of human beings on this planet, how low they will go. They will be dog eaters. So they had to make it in such a way that it is through their austerities, their compassion for people like us, that we got the blessings, that we can be delivered simply by chanting the holy names. They had to make it easy for us, for cheap people like us. But the chanting of Mahamantra is not cheap because it has got all of the Lord's potencies. All of Krishna is present in a single name. So definitely the Mahamantra is not cheap. Mahamantra is no way weak in any form. The Lord's name, in the presence in Kalyug, Lord Krishna is present in each and every one of his names, even if we say Jagannath. And I always usually say, this is my personal, I tell Jagannath, please be there in the form, in front of me all the time. Jagannath Swami Nayan Pataka Kami Bhavatume, please be there in front of my eyes all the time, all the time, all the time. Because we cannot see Krishna face to face. We are so polluted. Our vision is more material. This is a material body. It will dwindle and die. We are not in a position to even see Krishna. But we can see him in his photo form, in his pictures. So we have to. Now, Devahuti questioned Kapil. Why? Because it was a drama created for people like us. Otherwise, she is a liberated soul. Her son is Krishna, Kapil. She doesn't need to answer this question. She is already delivered. But all this was written for our benefit. So we are being told in Kali Yuga, you have to chant. You have to chant. You have to chant. Because there is no other way. We will follow all kinds of rituals and procedures. But if we don't chant, we don't utter the holy names, we don't get delivered, we don't get purified. Being purified is the essential point of us, people like us. There are people who say, oh, we're born in Brahmin family, this, that. But if they don't chant, they don't take the holy names of the Lord, they cannot be purified in this age. Because it's the Iron Age, is Kali Yuga. Cannot. Anybody who stops this chanting becomes a victim of Maya. Anybody who stops others from chanting also becomes a victim of Maya. Maya means material life. And then the more you get entangled in material life, the more demonic you become. So in other words, we are the cheap ones. We are in a very bad situation. So the presence of the holy name, the Mahamantra, presence of any of the holy names is important. Does that answer the question? Yes. Yeah. Any other? Yes, Prabhu.
Although I don't have any qualification to say that, but still, the thing is that, as Prabhupada said that we came back from here because of our material
Desires.
and we feel from there. So it's going back to God. Actually, we are coming from that, coming from here. That means that's easy. So there's not something we need to go to the right path. So actually, it's not about bhakti. It's not about Siddha and Ishvara. We are just going back to where we were.
So, yes. Yes. So Prabhu's means is that our life is a journey, and we are all making our way to Krishna in one way or another. And the only thing is that if we don't have the holy names, we will get lost. We will get lost. Yeah, we will get lost if somebody stops us. So Prabhu, I will ask you, where is your chanting bag today? Did you bring us? I'm just joking. I am just joking. But it is not that we get seen with our chanting bag, it is how much we actually chant. The chant. And chanting is really important. Taking Krishna's name is important.
Sometimes I actually forgot. Even last time I was carrying on the aeroplane, I forgot in the airport, I had to get out of the airplane.
Yes.
Here so many places I forgot. So
Yeah. Yeah, even our chanting bags, I left it in the bus one day. And I went to work, and the bus went in another direction, I went another direction. That day I was doing some accounts for multi-million dollar accounts, and it was very important. I think like $20 million was on the line. And I remembered those were my initiated beads, by the way. I still have them. And it's not this, it's another one. And I just left the accounts, the $1 million account just like that, and I walked out. Because I needed my initiating beads. And my boss met me on the way, where are you going? I said, I forgot my beads and the bus is gone. I had no idea where to get my beads. I rang the bus people and they said, you have to go to that depot, and where the bus is going, which depot it will go to. So where your chanting beads have gone, we don't know. There was money in the pocket of my, so somebody could have taken it, because there's money in it. Oh my God, I was beside myself. What didn't matter, nothing mattered. I just walked out and I didn't know where I was supposed to go, where to find my beads. I just walked out of my workplace, sat in another bus, came straight to Neutral Bay, because that time I was living in North Sydney, came straight to Neutral Bay bus depot. And I went and knocked on their door, and I said, "Does anybody left Japabi describe my bag?" And they said, "Yes, somebody left it. Was there $20 or something like money in that?" I said, "Yes." They said, "It's in the office, go and get it." I had no idea I'm supposed to go to neutral. I just went, left my job. I would say that I was being guided by Krishna or the higher power. Because I didn't know. That bus could have gone to the city, could have gone to Willoughby. There are many bus depots. Those who are driving buses will know where the depots are. I just went straight to Neutral Way. And it was there. So, but not everybody is that lucky. Lots of us lost our initiated bids. So please guard it with your life. Anyway, that's the, yes, Prabhu. Yes. Thank you. Prabhu, I did not get. What is the most important? Okay, I'll read it. Sorry. Okay. So the question is, what is the most important? What is the most that a person who chants the holy name can achieve without receiving initiation? In other words, if somebody doesn't receive initiation, what is the highest they can get? I have the answer. It is in here, and I'm going to read it because then we get it straight from Srila Prabhupada. If you can bear with me, chanting the Hare Krishna, I think it's here. Okay, so this is from Chaitanya Charimrita, Adi Lila, and it is Chaitanya Charimrita Adi Lila 7.76. Srila Jiva Goswami states that the substance of all Vedic mantras is the chanting of the holy name. I will go back a little bit because I'll read the translation. It may be questioned why there is necessity for initiation or further spiritual activities in devotional service for one who engages chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The answer is, although it is correct that one who fully engages in chanting the holy name need not depend on the process of initiation, doesn't have to. Generally, a devotee is addicted to abominable material activities, right? So they're doing bad things from his previous life also. So in order to get quick relief from all this contamination, it is required that one engage in the worship of the holy name. So it is said here that chanting of the holy name, you don't need initiation. And the question is, what can you achieve without initiation, just by chanting the holy names? Let me find out in this. What is the highest they can achieve if they are just chanting? Okay. The same Chaitanya Madhya Lila 15.10, it says chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful, it does not depend on official initiation. They can be freed from material identification. So can be freed from material contamination, can be freed from sinful activities, sinful reaction. That's one. And the holy name of the Lord, the name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, cannot be identified with any material sound. In other words, as soon as they chant, all material things go. So they're in a spiritual state. So that's the highest he achieves. I would say is he comes out of his material condition. And it says here, although chanting the holy name is good for both conditioned and the liberated soul, it is especially beneficial to the conditioned soul because by chanting one is liberated. Highest form, liberation. To answer your question. Highest form. Without initiation, you can be liberated. And you can read this in Chaitanya Charimrita Madhya Lila 15.108. No problem. That one, the first one was Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charimrita Adi Lila 7.76. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I am going to be so late. I have a meeting today. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki jai.
Yeah.